Hey there folks, welcome back to another exciting episode where we break down the complexities of global finance into bite-sized, digestible pieces. Tonight we're diving headfirst into the wild world of global finance. Buckle up, because it's going to be a fascinating ride through the intricate web of international economics. Don't worry, we'll try to keep it as exciting as, well, watching paint dry. Just kidding, sort of. We promise to make it engaging and maybe even a little fun. We're talking about BRICS. No, not the orange kind you stack on a construction site. We're talking about a powerful coalition of countries. We're talking about Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These nations have come together to form a formidable alliance. These 5 nations are like that group project where everyone has different ideas, but they're somehow trying to make it work. It's a complex dance of diplomacy, economics, and strategy. Their mission? To challenge the big kahuna of the global economy, the US dollar. It's a bold move, but one that could reshape the financial landscape. You see, for decades, the dollar has been the dominant currency for international trade. It's been the go-to for transactions, investments, and reserves. It's like the Beyoncé of money. Everyone knows it, everyone mostly loves it. But just like in music, sometimes a new star wants to take the stage. But BRICS is looking to change the playlist. They want to introduce new tracks, new rhythms, and new financial instruments. They're tired of the dollar's dominance and the power it gives the US. They believe it's time for a more balanced and equitable system. They're like, why should America get to call all the shots? Why should one country have so much influence over the global economy? We want our own financial system. Thank you very much. A system that reflects our interests, our strengths, and our aspirations. So, they're joining forces, pooling their resources, and trying to create alternatives. It's a monumental task, but one they believe is worth pursuing. Think of it as starting a rival boy band to challenge the reigning champs. They have the talent, the vision, and the drive to make it happen. Will they succeed? Only time will tell. The global financial system is complex and deeply entrenched, but change is always possible. But one thing's for sure, things are about to get interesting. The BRICS nations are determined to make their mark, and the world will be watching closely. Now, you might be wondering, why are these countries so gung-ho about ditching the dollar? Well, it all boils down to power, baby. The US dollar's dominance gives America a lot of it. They get to influence global trade, impose sanctions, and basically throw their weight around. And let's be honest, nobody likes a bully, especially when that bully also controls the global piggy bank. BRICS is over it. They want a more level playing field, where they have a bigger say in the rules of the game. They're tired of being at the mercy of the US economy and its whims. So, what's their grand plan? Well, it's a multi-pronged approach. First, they're trying to reduce their reliance on the dollar for trade. Instead of using greenbacks, they're encouraging the use of their own currencies. Second, they're developing their own financial institutions, like the new development bank, to rival the World Bank and the IMF. It's like building a second, cooler treehouse because the popular kids won't let you in theirs. And third, they're exploring the possibility of a new shared currency. Imagine a world where you could travel from Brazil to China and pay for everything with the same money. It's enough to make your head spin. But let's dive deeper into why this shift is happening now. The global financial landscape is changing rapidly. Emerging economies are growing at a faster pace than ever before, and they want their financial systems to reflect their newfound economic power. The US dollar has been the world's primary reserve currency for decades, but this dominance is increasingly being questioned. Countries like China, Russia, and India are leading the charge to create a more balanced global financial system. The US dollar's dominance isn't just about convenience, it's about control. When the US imposes sanctions, it can effectively cut countries off from the global financial system. This kind of power can be used as a political weapon, and many countries are tired of being vulnerable to these tactics. They want to create a system where no single country has this kind of leverage. The ability to impose sanctions is a significant tool in the US's arsenal. It allows them to influence international policies and decisions. However, this power dynamic is increasingly seen as unfair and outdated. The world is becoming more multipolar, and countries want a financial system that reflects this reality. The frustration is palpable. Countries are tired of being dictated to by the US and its allies. They want a system where they have more control over their own economic destinies. This is why the BRICS nations are pushing for a new financial order. They believe that by working together, they can create a more equitable system. The idea is to create a financial system that is more inclusive and representative of the current global economic landscape. This means giving emerging economies a bigger voice in international financial institutions and reducing their dependence on the US dollar. The current system is seen as too US-centric, and this has led to economic imbalances. By creating a more diversified financial system, countries hope to reduce these imbalances and create a more stable global economy. So, what's their grand plan? Well, it's a multi-pronged approach. First, they're trying to reduce their reliance on the dollar for trade. Instead of using greenbacks, they're encouraging the use of their own currencies. This is a significant shift and requires a lot of coordination and trust among these countries. Reducing reliance on the dollar means that countries can trade more freely without worrying about US sanctions or financial policies. It also means that they can have more control over their own economies. Instead of using greenbacks, they're encouraging the use of their own currencies. This move is not just symbolic, it has real economic implications. By using their own currencies, countries can strengthen their own financial systems and reduce their vulnerability to external shocks. Second, they're developing their own financial institutions, like the New Development Bank, to rival the World Bank and the IMF. These institutions are designed to provide an alternative source of funding and support for developing countries, reducing their dependence on Western-dominated institutions. It's like building a second, cooler treehouse because the popular kids won't let you in theirs. These new institutions aim to be more inclusive and responsive to the needs of emerging economies. And third, they're exploring the possibility of a new, shared currency. This is perhaps the most ambitious part of their plan. A shared currency could facilitate trade and investment among these countries and reduce their dependence on the US dollar. Imagine a world where you could travel from Brazil to China and pay for everything with the same money. This would make international travel and business much more straightforward and could lead to greater economic integration. It's enough to make your head spin. But this is the future that BRICS is envisioning, a more balanced, inclusive, and fair global financial system. Whether they can achieve it remains to be seen, but one thing is clear, the world is changing and the days of US dollar dominance may be numbered. Remember that guy, the one with the spray tan and the Twitter addiction? Yeah, him. He wasn't exactly a fan of BRICS's plans. In fact, he threw a bit of a tantrum. He slapped tariffs on goods from China, threatened to do the same to others, and generally tried to strong-arm them into backing down. His logic? If you mess with the dollar, I'll mess with your economy. It was like watching a playground squabble, only with billions of dollars at stake. But here's the thing, it didn't really work. BRICS didn't back down. They might have different ideas about how to move forward, but they're united in their goal to challenge the dollar's supremacy. They're like a dysfunctional family on a road trip. They might bicker and fight, but they're still going to reach their destination. And that destination is a world where the US dollar doesn't hold all the cards. Not so fast. The concept of a unified currency for the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has been floating around for a while now. It's an idea that has captured the imagination of many economists and political analysts. But is it really feasible? Now, the idea of a BRICS currency is a juicy one. Imagine a world where these emerging economies come together to challenge the dominance of the US dollar. It sounds like a plot straight out of a geopolitical thriller, doesn't it? Just imagine the headlines, "Dollar dethroned, New World Order emerges." Such a move would undoubtedly send shockwaves through the global financial system. But hold your horses, folks. It's not that simple. The logistics of creating a unified currency are mind-boggling. We're talking about aligning monetary policies, economic strategies, and even political ideologies. While Russia and China are all in on the idea, pushing for a new currency to reduce their dependence on the dollar, the other members are a bit more hesitant. The other members, like Brazil, India, and South Africa, have their reservations. They are cautious about jumping into such a monumental shift without thorough consideration. Brazil, for example, thinks it's more realistic to focus on strengthening their own currencies and payment systems first. They believe that a strong domestic economy is the foundation for any future international collaboration. It's like they're saying, let's learn to walk before we try to run a marathon. They want to ensure that their own financial systems are robust before taking on the complexities of a unified currency. India, meanwhile, is playing it safe. They are intrigued by the idea but are also aware of the risks involved. They like the idea of reducing their reliance on the dollar, which has been a long-standing goal for many emerging economies. But they're also wary of rocking the boat too much. The global financial system is a delicate balance, and any drastic changes could have unforeseen consequences. They have close ties with the US, and don't want to jeopardize that relationship. The US is a significant trading partner, and maintaining that relationship is crucial for India's economic stability. It's a classic case of, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification is key, and India is keen on maintaining a balanced approach. So, while a unified BRICS currency might be a long way off, the idea is not entirely off the table. It's a goal that requires careful planning, negotiation, and a lot of patience. The individual efforts of these nations to chip away at the dollar's dominance are already having an impact. Each country is taking steps to strengthen their own currencies and reduce their reliance on the dollar. It's a slow burn, but it's burning nonetheless. The journey towards a unified BRICS currency is a marathon, not a sprint. And while the finish line may not be in sight just yet, the race has certainly begun.